Passa Blue's gonna have to keep it moving back and forth in this beautiful, beautiful forest. I'm moving too fast. Let me slow down one time so you can enjoy the background while I share, after the plane pass, a piece of my mind. Passa Blue had to learn something new today. I had to apply it. I didn't learn it yesterday, but I kind of learned it recently. It has to do with this bike right here. My bike has 21 speeds, whatever that means, right? So what that kind of means is that I don't have to work as hard all the time. The park that I like to ride in, you go uphill a couple of times, and then you end up going downhill, right? When I'm going uphill, I can put the setting on a setting that makes me cycle less, right? Also, there's a way I could do it where I could cycle more at the same time, but that's normally when I'm going downhill. The point is that the less that I spin, the more that the wheel turns. So let me make this more present and clear for you. The energy that I put in the back wheel to spin, I could put one spin and the back wheel could spin 3 or 4 times, or I could put one spin and the back wheel can only spin 1 time. If the back wheel is only spinning 1 time and not 3 or 4, it's going to be easier for me, for my legs, to make the back wheel spin. That didn't make no sense. That didn't matter, because what I plan to transition to is the concept of manpower. Manpower is a myth, because manpower cannot be measured. I like to compare manpower to something we all use to measure equipment. To measure machinery, humans use horsepower. And one thing I want to say about horsepower is it's beautiful, the psychology of the horse. Look at these bees just on the plant, just doing its work. We gotta look at the bee power too. Yep, buzzing around, getting it done, just active. But we're gonna go back to the horsepower. Respect to the bees, right? So back to the horsepower. That's how we measure equipment. How much horsepower does it have? How many horses? Thousands of horsepower. You understand? And these are the vehicles that are like, that's more, a car usually has 100 to 200 horsepower, maybe 300 horsepower. After that, you get into a race car. You understand? So the point about horsepower is that we compare manpower to horsepower, but everything we have are as powerful as a horse. So in a land where everything's as powerful as a horse, the manpower seems diminished. And in the past, in the 20th century, many people analyze society based off the lack of the need for manpower. You understand? We don't need people to do the same things we need to do because machines do it. And the machine is multiple times powerful than the horse. So that's when manpower seems less important. Why is manpower important? It's just like why the bee power is important. The bee does more than fly around. The bee makes honey, and honey is pretty much immortal. Honey doesn't really decay, kind of like gold. So the bee is a master alchemist when it comes to the plant. They have a whole lot of alchemical power. And the man, as an alchemical being, able to take any emotion in any situation and transition it to what it could be through the lessons that he or she has had in life. That's the power of the manpower. So stop looking at the strength. Stop looking at how much work you could do and break it down to the type of mentality or the abilities you have. And if you could do a lot of work, that's great. But there's other things that we could do, like rather than just grunging out and doing the work the hard way, we can make it easier. We could share it. Or when we get to the highest levels, anything that comes your way, you know what to do with it, and you can make it something pleasant for other people to the point that it'll seem like magic, like the bee power. And it'll seem like you move mountains almost as you have infinite horsepower. So that's all I have to say about manpower, especially on the spiritual, mental side. And of course, on the physical side, people are proving every day that they have 1/10 or half a horsepower. A lot of these strong, able people. But that's a whole nother story. And it has to do with the physical limits of the mind and how it acts on the body. We ain't gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about how limitless your mind is and the potential if you could just look around and just see perfect examples of what you can do. Take care. Peace.